Hey everybody, I'm Justin with AmericanMuscle.com, and this is my detailed overview of the Eibach Sport-Plus Suspension Kit available for your 2015 and newer Mustang GT. The Sport-Plus Suspension Kit here is a great choice for any S550 GT owner out there looking to a trusted name like Eibach to help lower their ride while greatly improving the handling at the same time using a couple of different components. The components I'm talking about here with this kit include a brand new set of front and rear adjustable sway bars, along with Eibach's very popular Sportline lowering springs, which are going to offer a very aggressive drop for your coupe or convertible. Now, if you're really set on a name like Eibach and you like the idea of a matched kit like this, but maybe you prefer a slightly milder drop, then you definitely want to check out Eibach's Pro Plus kit instead. Again, we'll offer a slightly smaller drop thanks to those Pro Kit springs from Eibach. But for now, let's dive a little deeper into the Sport Plus system. The Sport Plus kit does start off with the Sportline lowering springs here from Eibach. Again, a very popular aftermarket spring, not just with the S550 cars, but also the previous generation Mustangs as well. And that's because they're going to offer one of the biggest drops in the category. And that is certainly true here again, guys, with the 2015 and newer Mustangs, because these things are going to drop the front of the car roughly 1.5 inches and just a little bit less in the rear. At the time of this video, this is the biggest drop you can get with a set of aftermarket lowering springs here at AmericanMuscle.com. So if you're really into that low look, these are going to be a great option. Sportlines do feature a progressive or dual rate spring here, and that's always a great choice for a street car because they're going to be relatively comfortable when cruising, granted a little firmer than your stock springs, but then they tend to progressively get firmer the harder the car is pushed, and that is certainly reflected in the spring rates. The initial spring rate for the Sportlines include a 217-pound front and an 870-pound rear spring, with a secondary spring rate of a 331-pound front and 994-pound rear. So again, guys, you can see they get progressively firmer the more these springs are compressed. Now, some of the benefits when going with a progressive spring like this is improved roll control in corners, more so than a traditional linear spring, for instance, and even greater when paired with a matched set of sway bars like this kit from Eibach. And I will break these sway bars down here in a minute. Along with that improved roll control or less body roll overall, you will also see other improvements in regards to your weight transfer, basically front to back, back to front. So less nosedive under hard braking and less squatting under hard acceleration. And lastly, one of the biggest benefits with the Sportlines, the appearance. Now, these are definitely going to appeal to those S550 owners out there who enjoy more of a slammed look with a lot of rake because, again, these will lower the car a little bit more up front. This is one of those times, guys, where I'm going to tell you to check out the product page at AmericanMuscle.com if you haven't done so already, because we have a ton of customer-submitted images with owners of the Sportline springs and their S550, and it's really just going to give you a better idea of what to expect with your own ride. Again, guys, I do want to remind you that if you're not a huge fan of that slammed look and maybe you're just worried about speed bumps or going into your driveway and you want to stick with a name like Eibach, then please check out their Pro Plus kit because, again, it does feature a slightly smaller drop thanks to the Pro Kit spring, which is definitely a great spring in itself. It's only going to lower your car roughly 1 inch as opposed to the bigger drop with the Sportline, and it does have the benefit of a slightly lower price tag as well. But again, the springs are really only one half of the equation here with the Sport Plus kit. Eibach does match the Sportline springs with their front and rear 3-way adjustable sway bars, which again are going to be a huge improvement over the factory bars in your S550. As far as diameters go, guys, well, you're looking at a beefy 35mm tubular front matched by a 25mm tubular rear bar here, again from Eibach. Tubular construction is nice because it will save some weight over those heavy solid bars without really compromising any rigidity. By upgrading both the front and rear sway bar, the car should feel just more responsive overall. It's going to feel a little flatter in turns thanks to the drastically reduced body roll, and ultimately the bar should help the car rotate through turns much better than before. Now, this is a welcome change because anybody that's driven these things hard knows that from the factory, these cars tend to have a little understeering characteristic, basically meaning the car wants to push or plow through turns. Again, with the bigger bars, you're just going to experience more of a neutral balance with the car, maybe even the slightest bit of oversteer depending on how you set these bars up. And again, when paired with the springs, the car is just going to feel like a completely different animal on the street and when pushed hard in turns. Now, with that said, you do have some adjustability to play with here with the Eibach bars as they're both 3-way adjustable. Essentially, this is just going to allow you to soften or stiffen the bars depending on how you want your car to feel. Everybody has their own preferences, so you might have to play with the settings a little bit before you land on your ideal setup. Now, when getting these things installed, I'd personally recommend just starting with both end links in the middle holes here and just going from there, because you need a starting point. If you did want to stiffen the bar, just move the end link one hole closer to the meat of the actual sway bar. That's going to essentially shorten the bar itself, stiffening it in the process. You move the end link back all the way to the far hole here. That's going to basically elongate or lengthen the bar, and that's going to loosen the sway bar in the process. As far as construction, the Eibach bars are made in the USA from cold-formed, high-strength aircraft-grade steel, and then finished off in a red powder coat just to help prevent any corrosion over the years. Now, this kit does not include adjustable end links, but it's certainly not a bad idea to pick a set up, especially because you're going to be dealing with a very low ride height with the Sportline springs. However, on the flip side, they do throw in brand new polyurethane bushings and brackets, which is a nice little touch. When it comes down to price, the Eibach Sport-Plus kit will set you back just south of $700, which isn't too bad when you consider what you're getting here. Now, could you piece together a similar setup for less dough? Probably, but you have to keep in mind the Eibach stuff is completely top-notch in the world of suspension, and this kit is designed to work together in harmony. Now, you take a few different components from different brands, piece them together, and your results might vary. So ultimately, guys, Eibach has taken all of the guesswork out of this kit for you. When it does come time for the install here, guys, it's really not all that bad. Now, sure, there's a lot of steps involved, but it's all very straightforward and can be accomplished with some basic hand tools, including an assortment of wrenches and sockets. And of course, don't forget your spring compressor, as it will be needed with this install. I am willing to give this one a 2 out of 3 wrenches in my overall scale of difficulty. Again, guys, it's not exactly hard, it's just going to be time consuming. So leave yourself at least a half a day in the shop or garage to get this one knocked out. You can do this one on jack and jack stands if you like. A lift will always make life a lot easier. And again, when you mess with this much of your car's suspension, just make sure to have your alignment checked out afterwards. Wrapping this one up here, guys, the Sport-Plus kit from Eibach really will offer a lot of bang for your buck. The improvement in handling and all-around performance should be night and day compared to the factory parts they're replacing. And if you're a big fan of that low ride height, well, the Sportlines will definitely deliver there. So that's my review of the Sport-Plus kit from Eibach, which you can grab right here at AmericanMuscle.com.